Hey everybody.
Hi everyone.
Hey, it's June.
It's June.
And we are coming to you. You can hear a bird in the background.
Beautiful.
And a train. We are coming to you from the beautiful scablands of the state of Washington.
That's such an unfortunate name because it's a beautiful country with lots of pothole lakes and ponds and beautiful bird life, pelicans and raptors, and oh my goodness, it's wonderful. So I wish someone would just give it a better name.
Yeah, but it's kind of amazing because we came here in desperation. Gosh, what was it? 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah.
when we just couldn't do the winter weather anymore. So we come over here, and oh my goodness, there were iris, wild iris, and
Lupin
and just
Phlox.
and then we found these lakes. It's just gorgeous country, gorgeous here in the plains of Washington, of eastern Washington. So we decided here because we love this place and we are here, but also our topic for this month.
It's animals.
Yeah,
We all love animals.
and how we're related to animals and what we have to learn from these relationships we have with animals. Any of you who have pets know deeply this feeling, but many of you also know this feeling from wild nature. And like Gary was saying, the animals around here are just amazing. We even saw coyote scat.
We did.
Today.
We did. This is great coyote country for sure. It strikes me that even Darwin said the difference between humans and animals isn't really so much a difference of kind, but of just degree. And so there has been, even among scientists for a very long time, this sense that, yeah, we all come somewhat from a common ancestor and we've all developed unique qualities, but we're all deeply related.
Yes, and the other day, and related to just 2 days ago, I think, I asked Gary to tell the story of 4 wolves that were part of the wolf reintroduction in 1995. And as he told that story, every time he tells it, I hear it a little differently. And this time I heard, wow, I mean, the brilliance of these animals is unbelievable, really. And they may be capable of knowing. You know how Einstein said we're only using 10% of our brain?
Yeah.
I wonder if the animals are using more, and so that they don't necessarily need this linguistic mediator that we seem to need.
Yeah.
And they're able to know bigger without that. We could learn from that.
Yeah, and elephants, can communicate across miles using subsonic methods. And so animals have these abilities that we've never even considered. And that's one of the problems, I think, when we go to test so-called animal intelligence. There's that old test where an animal looks in a mirror, a mark is put on its face, and it looks in the mirror. And if it actually sees itself and tries to get the mark off, then there's some level of self-awareness. But, what if the animal doesn't really have that great of vision? Like we understand it. And so it doesn't pass that particular test, but it has all kinds of other intelligence. So part of our ability to embrace, I think, the intelligence of animals is to not confine them to the way that humans see and understand the world.
The way humans see and understand intelligence.
Yeah.
And really we are also in the position not to assume that animals have the same motives that we have. And so there's some great work being done over in Montana, where we spend a lot of time with our retreats. There's some excellent work being done on how to recreate the relationship between predator species and ranchers. That there really is a lot more cooperation possible there, and quite a few ranchers are understanding this. And if you have the chance, please take the chance to listen to this month's How It Looks From Here podcast, because I had the opportunity to speak with Hillary Zaranek, who has done national and international work to really rethink this relationship, especially as it supports regenerative agricultural or ranching practices.
Yeah, she and her family live right shoulder to shoulder with grizzly bears, black bears,
Wolves.
mountain lions, wolves, and they're really devoted to finding out how can we all live together? And they've done a beautiful job exploring that, and now she's teaching other ranchers who are interested in doing the same. So it doesn't have to be this combative relationship that we've for so long assumed it was.
Yeah, and so I guess that's what I'm pointing to. Just like we have assumed that intelligence looks the same way in all animals as it does in us,
Yeah.
we assume that because predators have prey, they are therefore aggressive and warring beings that need to be suppressed. And this is why there had to be a wolf reintroduction in the first place.
Right.
Because they had been stripped from Yellowstone in the late 20s.
Yeah, in the late 1920s, the Park Service itself was responsible for eliminating the last of the wolves in the entire park, which were found in the Lamar Valley, at least as far as they know, because predators were bad. They took the animals that were good, that we wanted actually for ourselves. We wanted to hunt elk, we wanted to hunt deer, and so if the wolves and coyotes were doing the same thing,
and we wanted to raise cattle,
and we
already,
exactly,
right?
and
Yeah.
sheep, so we needed to get rid of them. But happily, some of us, some of the people in the ranching community are holding a bigger view, and it's really inspiring to see.
In fact, this is for you to check out for yourself, but when you mess with ecosystems by taking out the predator species, you mess with the ecosystem. So in some ways,
Yeah.
the more animals are extinguished from our company, it's really not good for ecologies. And
Yeah.
so you say the best predictor of resilience and vibrancy in an ecosystem is its diversity, right?
Yeah, biodiversity. I mean, with the predator issue, wolves really do, and I've watched so many times them hunt. They really, as a collective, as a pack, look for who's lagging in the back of the herd, and that may be somebody that has a lung infection or some other disease often, and that's who they go for, primarily because it's the least amount of risk to them. Wolves only live less than 5 years on average in Yellowstone, mostly because they end up getting kicked in the head and get injuries during hunting that are impossible to recover from. So they're invested in finding out who's the weakest, and in taking the weakest, for example, with the issue of chronic wasting disease, by taking animals that start to stagger and lose their sense of balance, which is a symptom of chronic wasting, very contagious disease, they remove that animal or those animals from the herd, and so the herd itself will be less likely to be completely overwhelmed by that disease. So there really is an ecology, a balance that's going on in ways that we have no understanding of yet at all. We're just beginning to see it.
And isn't it so that when the wolves were gone, the elk population increased so much that it was harmful to the grazed down everything?
Absolutely, yeah. The conditions on the northern range of Yellowstone were with 20,000 elk running around, which is far above the carrying capacity, as they say, of that area. It was just not good for anyone. So there was less graze for bison, less graze for pronghorn. So again, yes, the predators and the prey all have a purpose on this earth, and we just need to maybe put down some of our labels and see what they have to teach us.
And then there's this other pretty fundamental question in all of this, and that is, who says we're more important than all other species?
Yeah.
Was that ever so? Is that true? Is that even viable as a way of moving as a species through our lives and through this, across this planet the way we do? And so there's some fundamental assumptions that have been made along the way, not the least of which is our sense of separation from other species, sense of separation from these trees, these birds, these grasses. That's one we say this all the time, and we invite you constantly to check and see, do you really end where your skin ends? Are you really separate from anything? And if not, what does that mean? And what can we, so in this case, we're thinking, what can we learn from our animal relatives?
And you mentioned who's most important, and we've been so obsessed with that for the last 400 or 500 years, especially. Make a hierarchy, humans on top, and then this is intelligence, and then this is more important. But if you really want to talk about importance, I would say little teeny tiny organisms of the soil, like springtails and other organisms that actually take material from the soil and turn it into nutrients in a way that's available for the plants to
Yeah.
take in, which then the animals eat, which then sometimes we eat, or we eat the plants. In that sense, really the little tiny insects of the
Yeah.
soil are way more important than the rest of us. So
Yeah, the soil that we're standing on right now is getting worked through by those organisms. I mean, they probably everywhere, but you can really
Everywhere.
see it right where we are.
yeah.
Yeah. So spend some time considering your relationship with animals. And of course, if you have pets, you have that right there next to you all the time. And then consider the other animals. Consider your relationship with the birds, with the fish, the swimmers, and with the ones who walk around, and like the mice and the rats. I mean, all of it. This relationship. How are we in relationship?
Yeah.
And what does it mean, and how can it inform us as humans with the chance to remain a viable species? It's on us, though. It really is on us. And so animals, I think,
Yes.
have, we're proposing, have a lot to teach us.
Yeah, and happily science is looking and finding more interesting things. One last quick story. When I first came out west, it was the sport of choice among many to go shooting prairie dogs for no reason other than target practice. And I always found that very unfortunate. Well, in very recent times, they've discovered that prairie dogs, at least certain species like the Gunnison prairie dog, has the ability, when it chatters, when there's danger around, and that's been known for a long time, they're starting to analyze that chatter, and they think that they're actually communicating not just danger and everybody run, but the distance of the danger, the color and speed of the animal, and all these different complexities about how much you should react and whether it's really something to be worried about. So we're all the
Wow.
time, if we're patient and we're interested, we're going to find out new things about this wonderful world, including about us. So
Yeah, by extension. And how there's so many teachers around for us. And it's a lot of pressure to have to be the smartest
yeah,
person. I mean, the smartest being on the planet all the time. And we are not.
put that weight
And
down.
yeah, I mean, we have some smarts, but who knows if it's true that all the other animals are really beyond having to function off their frontal lobes, that they can draw on more of their brain at once. We don't know that. Could be so. And so it's, whether it is or not, it's worth tending to our relationship with those animal beings of all kinds. You do have one more story.
Well, I was just thinking, we're all the time saying this, but one special quality, it's not unique to us by any means, but we cooperate on a level that's exceedingly impressive as
That's
a species.
true, as a species.
We
Yeah.
can
You
do
wouldn't
things
believe it,
together.
but we do.
We can do things together that are absolutely magnificent. So
Yeah.
if we could reclaim some of the qualities that we've just not probably activated to the degree we can,
Yeah.
we'd be in a better place.
Well, and there's
Everybody
some
would.
evidence that that's happening.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of new ways of being with each other that even get way more sophisticated than barter and doing it in a brand new way, and that are recognizing that, well, collective intelligence. We can get to brilliant ideas so much faster if we all drop our need to be the smartest person in the room
Yeah.
and have a bunch of people in the room who are thinking together. Oh, it's fantastic. So that's another thing for us to be watching, how we can learn from the human animals and from each other. Yeah, and so here we are in June. And soon, Gary and I are going to be with the people who are coming to participate in one of our retreats at the J Bar L Ranch. We're really excited about being
Yeah.
back in the
Oh,
Centennial
can't
Valley.
wait. Can't
Yeah, we hope that all of you get your curiosity piqued, and in future you consider joining us at one of these retreats.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking a break from
A break
Deep
from
Dive.
deep dive. Yes, summer break,
Yes.
summer vacation.
Yes. So we will plan on being back in September. We will let you know about that. So we won't be deep diving into animals, but we hope that you will be.
Yeah.
You'll be talking with your friends about that sort of thing. Please be in touch with us.
Yeah, and be well and be outside as
Yeah.
much as you can.
Let us give you this information. If you're not signed up, go to www.fullecology.com or our email.
Connect@fullecology.com. It's that easy.
Yeah, we really enjoy hearing from you.
All
And
right.
we will send you another video next month.
Yeah, so farewell from the prairies of eastern Washington, and hope you have a great summer.
See you next month.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.